Let's talk about motivation. This is Now Tell Us, and I'm your host, Anthony Moirore. At Now Tell Us, we have guests come and tell us stories. They come and inspire us. They come and educate us on a subject. And always we have great guests with us. That means that also today we have a great guest with us who is going to talk to us about how to stay motivated. His name is Roman Fischer, and he's going to be here shortly. But before he comes, let me remind you to please share this episode with all your friends and remember to subscribe to our channels. If you have a question, we'll try our best to answer it. If you have a comment, please make it because we appreciate feedback. Even when you get to listen to this after we've recorded it, we appreciate you taking your time and anything that you may do to interact with the show. And I won't take much more time because I want to stay motivated. And therefore, let's go and find out what Roman has to tell us. Here we go. Hello, Roman.
Hey, how's it going?
It's cool. It's going on well. How about your side?
It's going great. It's going great over here on my side of the world.
And where are you, if I may ask?
Yes, so obviously in the United States of America, but
Uh,
specifically in Arkansas, yeah, of all places.
okay, that's beautiful. So we greet you. Hi.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and we also take this opportunity to greet everyone who's joining us and those who are going to be joining us. Yusuf, hi, thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. And as we welcome Roman into our show today at Now Tell Us. And we may start by knowing what is it exactly that you do?
Yes. So I do quite a few things, to be honest with you. I do acting, modeling, mainly film acting and voice acting. I also
Mm.
do fitness coaching, where I help people just transform their overall minds and bodies both, and just help them get more energy, better sleep, and well, just become happier, better versions of themselves.
That's beautiful. I love watching actors. I love movies. I love stage plays. So that's what you've been doing.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Tell us.
Now, not so much plays, but I have done a play before, but I
Okay,
do a film and voiceovers.
okay. And which could be, if I may have that opportunity to find out or get come into contact with one of your movies, which is your favorite movie that you've been in?
Yes, so far, honestly, and it has yet to release, but my favorite one without a doubt, and it was really neat, Reagan, the movie, Reagan. It's upcoming and it should be releasing at the end of this year, about fall of this year. COVID kind of delayed it like most things, but yeah, that's a movie that was very, very thrilling to be in. Having met Dennis Quaid on set, that was that was a really neat thing, being one of those legendary Hollywood actors, being right in his presence, seeing him, and then being
Mhm.
that Secret Service agent to him. And yeah, it was a neat experience, just to say the least.
Sounds cool. I'll be looking forward to see it if I have the opportunity. And I remember someone who said, "My next act is my best act." So forget about the ones that I have done before. Just wait for this coming one. And that's exactly what you're
Yeah.
telling me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it will be great. It will be great. So those are the things that you do. And I discover that your greatest passion at the moment, if I'm not wrong, is training, fitness. As you said, that's part of your what you do. So tell us about it. And let's start by knowing, when is it? Did you gain an interest in it, and how did that come to be?
Yeah, for sure. So I was not really, that fitness guy. I was not always into fitness from the get-go, from the start of things. I actually was more of that couch potato who would just eat anything and everything in his sight and
Mhm,
just lounge around and play video games just from day to day. But there were, you know, quite a few things that led me into the realm or arena of fitness as I know
mhm,
it today. And so a few of them, one being my brother, just seeing him lift weights when I was about 15, just seeing him pick up the weights and, gain that muscle, just gain that lean muscle, see that transformation from when he was more skinny to just a lot stronger, more muscular. That then really inspired me to want to pick up weights myself because I was skinny. I was always that skinny kid in
mhm,
school. And most people would always, poke fun or make fun of me for being, that skinny kid, which obviously isn't a really cool thing to do, but still that really motivated me to want to, make that change. And then seeing my younger brother, especially, I'm like, okay, if he can do it, I can do it. I can do it too. So that's what really led me into fitness initially, especially with the fitness or exercise side of things with the gym. From
mm,
there were a couple other factors, and this one was a lot more, a lot more serious, a lot, um, just a lot more touching, even for some people, maybe emotionally.
mhm,
But seeing my and this was a really hard thing to, deal with and put up with at the time, but seeing my grandpa just pass away and just due to not really taking care of his inner body. And that's the thing, he was heavily addicted to sugar, and that, sugar addiction caught up with him, and that made it hard for me to know that and see that. And what was crazy is I was a sugar addict, or
mm,
especially around that. I was heavily invested in eating a lot of sugar, all around that, period of time. And that really pushed me in that direction, to actually take care of my diet. Because after I saw
mhm,
my brother lift weights, that inspired me and motivated me to actually get into fitness, but it didn't inspire me to take care of my inner self as far as like what I was eating, what I was drinking, and stuff like that. But after and upon seeing my grandpa, pass away, while that really put me in that, deep depression for that short period of time, it also later inspired me and just gave that fire inside of me to want to just go all in and go all out with what I was putting in my body and really just be very aware of what I was consuming on a daily basis. Because, when you lose someone and it's someone you love, someone you really knew and loved throughout your life, and they just kind of vanish, it really it's kinda like a wake-up call, and you're like, "Okay, if that affected them, granted they were older, but still, if that affected them, I don't wanna have to go down that same path. Because even if it doesn't
mhm,
affect me a lot right now, it's going to, inevitably affect me at some point down the road later." So, yeah, that really, really inspired me to wanna just make a change right then and there and just be very conscious of what I was eating. And yeah, and then after that, I did a lot of heavy research into all the ingredients that they pump into our foods and a lot of the other stuff that even goes into our water, especially if you have tap water. I mean, that has a lot of metals and toxic chemicals in it. And that's
mhm,
just something that we can't have, especially if we're trying to take care of our overall health, especially from inside us. And that's where a lot of people lack their personal health is from within them. So that's when I really made that change, especially after my grandpa, passing away due to the sugar addiction and cancer. And then also the heavy research, you could even say, that I did from there. And from there, I never looked back. I mean, after that, I just really got this addiction. It was a healthy addiction though, because most
mhm,
people think of addictions as bad, and for the most part, that's probably true. But in this case, I had this really strong, healthy addiction to fitness. Then, after I started lifting the weights, I couldn't put them down. And then after I
mhm,
started eating healthier and knowing what was in our foods and what to eliminate from our, my diet and other people's diets that I later helped, that then made me just want to help other people. After I saw the results for myself, getting more muscular, but also just getting internally healthier, I was
Mm,
like, all right, this is very addicting in a good way. This is very healthy. I can feel, myself just become healthier. Like I can feel the difference in my inner
mm,
health and outer health as a result. And because of that, I want to do the same thing for everyone around me, starting with
mm,
people I know and love. But from there, I want to branch out. I want to branch out to everyone that I can help and just
mm.
help them one body at a time.
Wow, that's very beautiful. Now,
Yeah.
you know what I've already got from that story, where watching your brother gain some muscle by lifting some weights, and also the experience of losing your grandpa. And sorry for that. I get the picture of minding what we are exposed to, because what we are exposed to, what we see, is going to impact us either positively or negatively. Now, you watched your brother do a positive thing, which could not be such an easy thing to some of us, because when you're lifting weights, there's going to be pain at some point, and then you experience the pain of losing someone. But you're
Yeah.
exposed to that and you internalize it, and then you take an action from that, what you learn from the two experiences.
Definitely.
That's good.
Yeah, and
That's
that's the thing. I mean, just yeah, utilizing those experiences, good or bad, towards your overall benefit and even better, everyone else's benefit. Yeah.
mm. Now, Yusuf has a question, and I don't know how you're going to deal with this because he's driving us a bit back to when you talk about being a secret agent. This was in the movies, Yusuf, but then Roman is going to tell us. Yes, he says, yes, I understand. I understood your story. Being secret service agent at USC democracy should be hard. I'm talking about financial aspect, how you're dealing with it, mate. Yeah.
That's
How do
funny.
you respond to that?
Yeah, so I mean the financial aspect, yeah, so I wasn't obviously a Secret Service agent in real life, but I was in this movie though. I was in this movie. Now, the financial aspect of things, how I deal with that just as a whole nother issue in itself. How I deal with that personally is I just watch what I spend. I know that sounds very cliche. That sounds very redundant. A lot of people say that just watch what you spend, don't spend another dime, and save a lot as much as you can. But
Mm-hmm.
I really just practice saving my money more than spending. I'm more of a saver than a spender by nature anyway. So really just saving my money and also investing my money in things that can return on my investment, such
Mm-hmm.
as stocks, ETFs, mutual funds, stuff like that. And then also too, just putting it in just overall just interest bearing accounts. And then yeah, just stuff like that. Just really not being that person to spend money on every trend that comes up because there's always a new thing. There's always a new gadget. There's always a new laptop. There's always a new iPhone. I don't even know how many iPhones there are now. There's probably hundreds at this point, but yeah, just being more of that, conscious spender and really just saving more than spending overall. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, just really the overall percentage of what I make, from month to month, I keep most of it in savings or only spending on stuff that I need. And really just essentially practicing minimalism, being that minimalist in your life too. That also helps too with the financial aspect of things.
Thank you very much. You answered it your best.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you went into training, you went into lifting weights, you went into watching what you eat and what how you spend your daily life. And then at some point, that's when you saw the aspect of bringing in the others into it, you helping others, and in some way turning it into a business. At what point did that happen that you decided, hey, I'm going to now start giving other people? Because it wasn't immediately. At
Yeah,
what point?
definitely.
And yeah.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't overnight by any stretch of the imagination, but
Mm-hmm.
I did get into fitness about, let's see, 10 years ago. I've been in fitness for 10 years as far as just like working out myself, but I've really, yeah, I really got into the fitness business. I like how that rhymes. I got into the fitness business about a few years ago. So let's see, that was 20. Yeah, right. It's crazy. I actually started it right at the beginning of the pandemic. So it was like right before it or right like at the start of it. It was right in that time frame and
Mm-hmm.
that, time area. And that's when I started my business, Roman Fisher Fitness, just to help people and just witness the fitness and then also transform their overall minds and bodies, both. That's what really, um, you know, that's when I got into it.
Hmm. And you mentioned of the pandemic, and don't we all know what really happened in during that time of the pandemic, the challenges that people faced? And I guess even when you are starting with your business, you had some challenges along the way. Was the pandemic the greatest of them, or did you have some obstacles, some challenges before that? Which has
Yeah,
been
so
your
it's
challenge so far?
right. So it's funny you say that because the challenges of the pandemic did affect many business owners, to say the least. I mean, to say that it didn't would be a huge lie. I mean, the pandemic destroyed a lot of businesses, just to keep it real. But
Mm,
for online businesses and online business owners such as myself, it didn't actually affect me really at all. Not
mm-hmm,
even, probably not one bit. Because what's good about online businesses, especially during pandemics and other, national, worldwide, disasters, what's good about having an online business and being that online business owner is you can help people remotely. So
mm-hmm,
if they have COVID, even if you have COVID, you're not going to catch COVID from one, webcam to the next. So that's what really made it helpful. Plus, most gyms shut down, so most people ended up working out at home. So that actually encouraged online training. So it actually helped my business as far as that goes. Now,
oh,
I would say the biggest struggle for me in terms of just my overall business and the flow of it would have been really just getting that initial clientele. Because when you build any business, online or not, it could be brick and mortar, it could be online, either way, you're going to have challenges, as we all know.
mm,
And getting that initial clientele, customer base, as they call it, that is the biggest struggle, I'd say, for a lot of people. And that was my biggest struggle. But utilizing social media and doing it the right way, though, that's definitely helped me out a lot, overcome that struggle and stay motivated.
that's good. Yeah, and we're gonna know about staying motivated more. But then I have a feeling, and John Clark is going to agree with me. It's like you're also gifted in music, or is it poetry? What is it? Poetry, music? Look at you, keep rhyming. Witness the fitness.
Oh, yeah, witness the fitness.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
So, what is it that you do? Poetry, music, what?
too fit to quit. But yeah, my did it again. Um, but yeah, I don't actually write music or do anything like singing
Hmm.
wise, but I do actually write poetry on the side, just more of a hobby more than anything. Just if there's nothing else to do and I have like all my tasks done for my business, that's something that I'll do occasionally, especially if I'm traveling. I get that inspiration to write a little bit and write some poetry for sure. Yeah.
So, that's where all the rhyming is coming from.
Yeah, in one way or another. Yeah.
Okay, so let's go deeper into how to stay motivated, because those of us who are listening, we are curious and we are interested. We want to be motivated, and more than that, we want to stay motivated to the end
Yes.
until we win. So, how do we go about that? Coming from you.
Yes. So I've actually made a, reel about this and videos on this exact subject. That's what's really cool. Motivation, it's great, getting to motivation station, but motivation is not everything. Motivation is not, the full cup of tea, if you will. motivation is great to get that initial fire inside of you and that initial urge to want to get going and keep going for a bit. But if you don't have that overall consistency to back it up, that fire sadly can and usually will go out at some point or another, especially when you are faced with a lot of struggles and setbacks in your life.
Mm-hmm.
So, what I recommend is get that initial motivation for sure. I mean, don't get me wrong. Motivation is key. Motivation's great, especially initially from the get go.
Mm-hmm.
But getting that consistency factor to back up the motivation that you once had and that you still have, that is what's going to help keep you motivated and stay motivated. And I like to say this to you: motivation gets you going, but consistency keeps you growing. So yeah, you
I had
gotta definitely have that consistency to back it up.
Yeah, I had that from an actor, so I'm blessed hearing it from another actor.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Hey,
consistency.
no coincidence there, I guess.
Yeah, no coincidence. Yeah, so we are talking about the motivation station.
Oh yeah,
Another
motivation
rhyme there.
station on the plantation.
And the plantation as we keep going. Yeah, and what gives you the most motivation or inspiration to stay there? Because I have seen many people start one thing today, tomorrow they've left it and gone into another field, but you've sustained that status. You've kept on going. What keeps you going? What's that?
Yeah, what keeps me going is just really visualizing my goals and what I want to
Mm-hmm.
achieve and what I have not yet achieved, but can and will achieve. So just really envisioning and really dream building, as some people call it, just really dream building on what I'm about to achieve, whether it's in the near future or, maybe the far future, but whatever I'm set out to achieve, just really visualizing that and sometimes really writing it on a post-it note and hanging that up and then just really looking at that from day to day. That keeps me motivated for sure. And just seeing also what I've progressed in, all the progress I've made, all the little and big things that I've accomplished throughout my life, whether it was personal or business or both, just really honing in on that and just remembering everything that I've accomplished. And last but not least, I would say just remembering why I started in the first place, not just with my business to help other people, but also just with my own fitness goals and acting and modeling and things of those nature to you.
Okay, that's good. Then going to this where I want to ask, because I don't have a professional trainer that is training me on fitness, but at least I have a clue that we have different types of exercises. There is cardio, there is, can you maybe give us, what are those exercises, types of exercises that we should do to keep us fit?
Yeah, so it definitely just depends on your overall fitness goals, first and foremost, before anything. Now, that really will determine a lot. If you're trying to gain muscle, I suggest doing very minimal cardio. Cardio is not going to hurt, if you do a little bit. But if you're just trying to gain overall strength and mass, definitely focus more on just doing a lot more weights, especially heavier lifting if you can handle it to you. So just doing a lot more, strength training with dumbbells, barbells, barbell chest press, dumbbell curls, focusing mainly on compound lifts though, and then having some isolation exercises such as dumbbell curls and tricep overhead press. Those are just a couple examples for if you're trying to gain muscle and strength. Now, if you're trying to lose weight, lose fat, like most people, then in that case, I would suggest and highly suggest still doing a lot of weight training. I mean, cardio, I would do more of when you're trying to lose more weight because you want to burn extra additional calories if you're trying to lose fat and lose weight. But I would still mainly do strength training first and do more strength training than cardio. Then after enough strength training, you could do your cardio after. That way, your body will burn fat a lot easier that way when you do weights and then cardio. But still, it's very similar to building muscle when you're trying to lose fat. The only difference is you might add just a little more cardio. And if you're trying to lose more weight, you might even up it a little more. Also, strength training with circuit training. So going back to back with your workouts with minimal rest and just doing it in a circle or circle a circuit for a certain amount of rounds. So let's say you want to do 3 or 4 rounds, just do a circuit of those rounds and then have like a 2 minute rest period after that circuit and then just go back at it. So a common example of circuit training for people trying to lose weight and fat is they'll do barbell chest press, barbell row, barbell, shoulder press. Then they'll do some like bicep curls, bicep shoulder press, and then maybe some tricep dips on a bench. And then they'll rest for a couple minutes and then go right back at it with minimal rest in between each exercise. So that's a really good way to keep your heart rate up and really just get your blood pumping and blood flowing and really burn those calories. And that helps too if you're trying to drop pounds.
Thank you very much for that. But frankly speaking, to some of us, there are some things that we've understood, we have heard as if it's Greek. So we are going to pay much attention to know what exactly was he saying. So we're going to follow up with we should follow up with you and get more information, get to know what are those other ones that you spoke. I don't want to repeat them. And talking of misunderstanding, Yusuf says sorry for misunderstanding something in the first place, but then this is important. He wants to know how he can follow up with you so that he can understand more and also gain from what you are sharing. How? Please tell us how we can access you, your
Yeah,
products, your
most
services.
definitely. A
Hmm.
couple ways of doing it. Really, one of the best ways of doing it to see all the clients I've helped out, and not just my progress, but all the clients that I've helped with their just overall physique and their testimonial videos. You can go to my direct website, romanfisherofficial.com. From there, you can just fill out a consultation form and a just a training form to see what your goals are, and you can just input, all that stuff in there. Or if you want to just connect with me directly before that, you can just find me on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, or YouTube. And I would suggest Facebook or Instagram because YouTube you can only do so much with as far as like one-on-one messaging. But you can find me on those on at Roman Fisher Official. That's my handle, social media handle.
There goes the rhyming again. Roman Fisher official.
There it is. It just
Yeah,
sometimes
so
comes naturally, I guess.
yeah, so to everyone who's listening or watching, you can go to www.romanfisherofficial.com and connect with Roman for more about fitness. And yes, I would also want to be connected to actors. Maybe I have been attempting acting, so someone can also follow up with what you're doing. You never know.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and modeling.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. That's good. So is beautiful. So Yusuf, you've heard that. Follow up with Roman and get to know more. And at this point, we are just about coming to the end of the show. And we really appreciate you, Roman, for taking your time and being with us here to tell us all that you've told us today.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks for having me. It's been very fun and yeah, just very educational for a lot of these people. So it's been great.
Yeah, and it's been such an honor to have you here. But before you go, we'd like you to leave us with a few words that we should always remember.
Yes. So remember, motivation gets you going, but consistency keeps you growing. Had to do it.
That's a cool one. That's a cool one. Thank you very much, Roman. That's
Yes.
a
Thank
good
you
one.
very much. Yeah.
Yes. And just for your information, everyone who is listening, John Clark is telling us something interesting. If you want to hear more of that, what Roman is sharing, he posts good tidbits of information daily on his Facebook page. So search for the handle Fisher Official, or search on Facebook Roman Fisher. Find his handle and connect with him.
Oh,
And
yes.
yeah, wow, wow, it's been great. Thank you, John Clark. Thank you, Yusuf Furkan. Thank you, everyone else who's been watching and you've not said anything. We appreciate your time. And even those who get to watch this or listen to it after we are through, we value your time. Thank you for watching. And remember to share it with all your friends because they need this information that we are sharing here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
And remember to thank Roman.
Yes. Thank Roman Fischer. Roman Fischer
Yeah.
official.
So we are going to sign out. We're going to sign out and rush to romanfisherofficial.com. And that's about it for today. I've been your host, Anthony Merore. And together with our guest today, Roman Fisher, we're saying go there. Roman Fisher Official. Bye. Cheers.